I was supposed to tell him I was pregnant that morning, but instead his ex-wife showed up. 3 months after the Kim family burned, Nia learned that peace was just another word for the calm before the storm. She should have seen it coming. Should have known that in Ji-Soo's world, victory was always temporary. That every enemy destroyed left a vacuum that something worse could fill. But she'd let herself believe. Let herself think that maybe, just maybe, they'd earn their happiness. She was in the garden with Eun-Ha, teaching her how to plant strawberries, when Min-ho appeared in the doorway. Ji-Soo's head of security rarely sought her out directly, which meant this was important. "Miss Nia," he said in careful English. "Mr. Kong needs you. Now." Something in his tone made her blood run cold. "Is he hurt?" "No. But you should come." Nia looked at Eun-Ha, who was happily digging in the dirt, oblivious. "Mrs. Park, already on her way," Min-ho said. 5 minutes later, Nia was in Ji-Soo's office, and the moment she saw his face, she knew. Whatever this was, it was bad. Worse than bad. He was standing at the window, shoulders rigid, hands clenched into fists. He didn't turn when she entered. "Ji-Soo." Nia approached slowly. "What's wrong?" "Close the door." She did. Locked it. Crossed to stand beside him. And that's when she saw what he was looking at, a black car idling at the front gates. Expensive. Foreign plates. And standing beside it, a woman who looked like she'd stepped out of a fashion magazine. Petite. Beautiful. Perfectly composed. "Who is that?" Nia asked, though something in her gut already knew. "Her name is Yoon-Sara." His voice was completely flat. Empty. "She's Eun-Ha's mother." The world tilted sideways. "What?" "She left when Eun-Ha was 6 months old. Said she couldn't handle this life. Couldn't handle me. I gave her money to disappear and made it clear she was never to come back." He finally turned to face Nia, and his eyes were different. Distant. "She's been in Paris for the last 5 years. And now she's here." Nia's chest tightened. "Why?" "She wants to see Eun-Ha. She says," he stopped himself, jaw clenching. "She says she's changed. That she made a mistake leaving. That she wants another chance." "And you believe her?" Ji-Soo didn't answer immediately, and that silence spoke volumes. "I don't know what I believe." Something cold settled in Nia's stomach. "Ji-Soo, she abandoned your daughter. She left you both. Why would you even consider?" "Because she's Eun-Ha's mother." His voice rose slightly. "Because maybe I was wrong. Maybe I pushed her away too hard. Maybe if I'd been different, been better, she wouldn't have left." "You can't be serious." "She was different before." He turned back to the window, and Nia saw something in his profile that made her want to scream. Longing. Before Eun-Ha, before the pressure of my world broke her, she was light. Joy. Everything I wasn't. She made me believe I could be more than what my father made me. Ji-Soo, I loved her, Nia. I loved her so much it nearly destroyed me when she left. And now she's back, and she's saying she wants to try again, and He stopped himself, but the damage was done. "You what?" Nia's voice came out barely above a whisper. "You want to try again too?" "I don't know." He spun to face her, and now she saw it clearly. The conflict, the confusion, the part of him that was still in love with the woman who'd destroyed him. "I don't know what I want. All I know is that she's out there, and she's asking for a chance to be Eun-Ha's mother, and maybe that's what our daughter needs. Her real mother." The words hit like a physical blow. Her real mother. "That's not what I meant, isn't it?" Nia backed away from him, suddenly unable to breathe. "That's exactly what you meant. I'm just the nanny. Just the placeholder until the real thing came back." "No. Nia, that's not." "Then what is it, Ji-Soo?" "Because from where I'm standing, your ex-wife shows up looking pretty, and you forget everything we've built. You forget that I'm the one who's been here. Who's loved Eun-Ha. Who's loved you. You forget all of it the second she bats her eyelashes. That's not fair." "Fair?" Nia laughed, and it came out bitter. "You want to talk about fair? I fell in love with you knowing it was dangerous. Knowing your world could kill me. I stayed when you were bloody and broken. I helped you learn how to be a father. And now you're standing here telling me you don't know if you want to try again with the woman who abandoned you both. So no, Ji-Soo. Fair doesn't exist here." "Nia, please. Does she know about me?" Nia asked suddenly. "Does she know about us?" Ji-Soo's silence was enough for an answer. "Of course not. Because I'm just the nanny. Just the help. Nothing worth mentioning to your ex-wife." Nia moved toward the door. "You know what? Talk to her. Figure out what you want. But don't you dare come to me afterward and expect me to just accept whatever you decide. I'm not a placeholder, Ji-Soo. I'm not something you use until something better comes along. You're not. Then prove it. She turned back to face him, tears streaming down her face now. Tell her about us. Tell her that you've moved on. Tell her that Eun-Ha has a mother figure who loves her. Tell her the truth. Or let me know that everything we had was just temporary. She walked out before he could respond, and the sound of the door closing behind her felt like an ending. Nia didn't know where to go. The mansion suddenly felt like a cage, every corner holding memories of her and Ji-Soo, every room a reminder of what she was about to lose. She found herself in Eun-Ha's playroom, staring at the drawings on the wall. Pictures of their little family, Ji-Soo, Eun-Ha, and Nia, always together. Always smiling. How long until those drawings changed? Miss Nia? Mrs. Park appeared in the doorway, concern etched on her face. I heard, is it true? Sarah is back. Yes. The older woman made a sound of disgust. That woman. After what she did. The way she left. She stopped herself. Mr. Kong, he was like a ghost for 2 years after she went. Didn't eat. Barely slept. Just worked and stared at Eun-Ha like he was trying to memorize her because he was afraid she'd disappear too. He still loves her, Nia said quietly. No. Mrs. Park came into the room, sat beside her. He loves the memory of her. The woman she was before this life broke him. But that woman is gone, Miss Nia. The one who came back, she's something else. How do you know? Nia asked. Because I saw her face when she got out of that car. She wasn't looking at the house like she was coming home. She was looking at it like she was appraising it, calculating what it's worth. Mrs. Park shook her head. That woman didn't come back for love. She came back for something else. It doesn't matter why she came back. Ji-Soo wants her here. I saw it in his eyes. What you saw was guilt and fear. Mr. Kong has spent 5 years believing he wasn't good enough, that he pushed Sarah away by being what he is. And now she's back, and he thinks maybe he has a chance to fix his biggest failure. Mrs. Park took Nia's hand. But Miss Nia, you are not a failure. What you and Mr. Kong have built, that is real. That is worth fighting for. I don't know if he thinks so. Then make him see it. The older woman urged. Before Nia could respond, the door opened. Min-ho stood there, expression carefully neutral. Miss Nia, Mr. Kong asks if you'll join him in the main sitting room. Mrs. Yoon would like to meet you. Of course she would. Nia took her time getting to the sitting room. Let them wait. Let Ji-Soo sit with his ex-wife and remember what he'd lost. Maybe it would make his decision easier. When she finally entered, she found them sitting across from each other, Ji-Soo on one sofa, Sarah on the other. There was tea between them, untouched. They weren't talking, but there was something in the air. A familiarity. A history that Nia could never compete with. Sarah looked up when Nia entered, and up close, she was even more beautiful. Delicate features. Perfect skin. Eyes that probably used to hold warmth, but now held something calculated. You must be Nia, Sarah said in perfect English, smiling. Ji-Soo has told me so much about you. Liar. He'd told her nothing. Mrs. Yoon, Nia said politely, not bothering to correct the assumption that Ji-Soo had actually mentioned her. Please call me Sarah. We're practically family, aren't we? You've been taking care of my daughter. My daughter. Not our daughter. Mine. I've been helping care for Eun-Ha, yes, Nia said carefully, sitting in a chair that put distance between herself and both of them. Ji-Soo speaks very highly of your work. He says Eun-Ha has become quite attached to you. Sarah's smile didn't reach her eyes. That must be gratifying. To have a child love you. Eun-Ha is easy to love. Nia replied neutrally. Yes, she is. She gets that from me. Sarah looked at Ji-Soo, and something passed between them. She was such a beautiful baby. So happy. I hated leaving her. Leaving you. But Ji-Soo, he made it very clear that I didn't belong in this world. That's not, Ji-Soo started, but Sarah cut him off. It's okay. I understand now. You were trying to protect me. Protect us. I just wasn't strong enough to see it then. She reached across the space between them, and Nia watched in horror as Sarah put her hand on Ji-Soo's knee. But I'm stronger now. I've had 5 years to grow up, to understand what matters. And I want to try again. For Eun-Ha. For us. Ji-Soo didn't remove her hand. Didn't pull away. He just stared at Sarah like she was a puzzle he was trying to solve. Sarah, he said quietly. It's been 5 years. You can't just, can I? Her voice was soft. Pleading. Ji-Soo, we were good once. Remember? Before everything got complicated. We were happy. And we made a beautiful daughter together. Doesn't that deserve a second chance? What about Nia? The question came out before Nia could stop herself. Both of them turned to look at her, and Nia felt like she was watching her life end in slow motion. What about her? Sarah asked, confused. Ji-Soo and I, she looked at him, waiting for him to finish the sentence. To claim her. To tell Sarah that they were together. But he didn't. He just looked at her with something like agony in his eyes and said nothing. The silence stretched. Became unbearable. We worked together, Nia finished, the words tasting like ash. That's all. Oh. Sarah smiled, relieved. Well then, there's no conflict. When I move back in, Nia can stay on as Eun-Ha's nanny. Unless you'd prefer to find other employment? I understand if having the mother return makes your position awkward. Move back in? Nia's voice came out strangled. Of course. Ji-Soo and I have been discussing it. Haven't we? Sarah looked at him expectantly. We've been discussing the possibility of you seeing Eun-Ha, Ji-Soo said carefully. Not moving back in. But how else can I be a proper mother to her? She needs me here. Full time. And you, Sarah's voice dropped, became intimate. You need me too. I can see it in your eyes, Ji-Soo. You never stopped loving me. And I never stopped loving you. Nia stood up. She couldn't sit through this anymore. Couldn't watch the man she loved fall back in love with his ex-wife right in front of her. Excuse me, she said. I should check on Eun-Ha. Nia, Ji-Soo started, but she was already walking out. She made it to the hallway before the tears came. Made it to the garden before she started shaking. Made it to the far corner, hidden by trees, before she completely fell apart. This was it. This was how it ended. Not with violence or danger or any of the threats she'd prepared for, but with a beautiful woman who had history and biology on her side, who could offer Ji-Soo something Nia never could, absolution for his biggest failure. She didn't hear him approach until he spoke. Nia. She spun around, wiping her eyes. Ji-Soo stood a few feet away, looking wrecked. Don't, she said. Don't come here to explain or justify or... I love you. The words stopped her cold. What? I love you, Ji-Soo repeated, moving closer. Not Sarah. You. And I'm sorry, God. I'm so sorry I didn't say that in there. I'm sorry I let you walk out thinking. You let her touch you. Nia's voice shook. You didn't tell her about us. You let her talk about moving back in like I'm just furniture that can be rearranged to suit her. I know. And I was wrong. I was. He ran his hands through his hair, frustrated. When I saw her, all I could think about was Eun-Ha. About giving her a chance to have her real mother. About maybe fixing what I broke 5 years ago. But Nia, that's not what I want. Isn't it? She challenged. Because it looked like you wanted it. It looked like you were ready to forget everything we've built the second she showed up looking pretty and saying the right words. I was confused. He stopped himself. No, that's a lie. The truth is, part of me does still love her. Or at least, part of me loves who she used to be. The woman who made me believe I could be more than my father's legacy. And when she showed up saying she wants to try again, saying she's changed, yes. Part of me wanted to believe her. The honesty was worse than any lie would have been. Nia felt something inside her crack. Then what are you doing here? She asked quietly. Go back to her. Give Eun-Ha her real family. I'll find another position. Another family to work for. No. Ji-Soo closed the distance between them, grabbed her arms. No, Nia. You don't understand. Yes, part of me still loves the memory of Sarah. But I'm not in love with her. I'm in love with you. And there's a difference. I don't. Sarah was my past. You're my future. Sarah made me believe I could be better, but you actually make me better. Every single day. You challenge me. You see me, all of me, the monster and the man, and you love me anyway. That's not something I'm willing to give up. Not for Sarah. Not for anyone. Then why didn't you tell her? Nia pulled away from him. Why didn't you claim me in there? Why did you let her think we were nothing? Because I'm an idiot. His voice rose. Because seeing her again made me panic. Made me doubt everything. Made me think maybe Eun-Ha deserves her biological mother more than she deserves a nanny who... He stopped himself. Who what? Nia demanded. Say it, Ji-Soo. Who I'm not married to. Who has no legal claim to her. Who could leave at any time. The words came out raw. Nia, you terrify me. Because loving you means trusting that you'll stay. That you won't get tired of this life and leave like Sarah did. And when Sarah showed up offering stability, offering biology, offering... Offering you an out, Nia finished. A safe choice that won't break your heart again. Yes. He looked at her with naked vulnerability. And for a moment, just a moment, I considered it. Because loving you is terrifying. Because you could destroy me so completely that I'd never recover. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I hesitated. I'm sorry I didn't immediately tell her to leave. I'm sorry I let you doubt for even a second that you're the one I choose. Nia stared at him, and she wanted to forgive him. Wanted to fall into his arms and pretend this conversation never happened. But she couldn't. Because he'd just confirmed her worst fear. That she was disposable. That when something better came along, he'd consider it. I need you to leave, she said quietly. Nia, I need time to think. To figure out if I can do this. Knowing that part of you is still in love with her. Knowing that you hesitated. She wrapped her arms around herself. So please, just go. I'm choosing you, he said desperately. Doesn't that count for something? You're choosing me after considering her. That's not the same thing. She turned away so she wouldn't have to see his face. Go back to the house, Ji-Soo. Figure out what you really want. And when you're absolutely certain, then we can talk. She heard him hesitate. Heard him start to say something, then stop. Then, finally, his footsteps retreating. Only when she was sure he was gone did Nia let herself collapse. Let herself cry for the relationship that had felt so real, so solid, until a ghost from the past showed up to remind her that she'd never really had him at all. Nia didn't go back to the house that night. Instead, she called her friend Keisha, another expat nanny working for a family in Gangnam, and crashed on her couch. Girl, Keisha said after Nia explained everything. You need to leave. That man is not over his ex-wife. I know. And you staying there, watching them maybe get back together for the kids' sake? That's going to kill you. I know that too. Nia said, sounding frustrated. So why are you still talking about going back? Nia was quiet for a long moment. Then, because I love him. And because Eun-Ha, she doesn't deserve to lose another person she loves. Baby, you can't set yourself on fire to keep them warm. If he doesn't choose you, clearly, completely, with no hesitation, then he's not worth it. But what if he does choose me? What if he's just confused? Dealing with complicated feelings about his daughter's mother. Then he should have figured that out before he let you fall in love with him, Keisha said firmly. Before he let that little girl call you mama. You don't get to be confused after that. You don't get to hedge your bets. Nia knew her friend was right. But she also knew that Ji-Soo's world, his life, didn't work like normal people's lives. That nothing was simple when you were trying to love a man who'd been trained from birth to protect himself by never letting anyone too close. Her phone buzzed. A text from Ji-Soo. Please come home. We need to talk. Home. Like it was hers. Like she belonged there. Another text, I told her. About us. About everything. Please come back. Nia stared at the messages, and something in her chest loosened slightly. He'd told her. That had to mean something. I have to go back, she said to Keisha. You're making a mistake. Probably. But it's mine to make. It was past midnight when Nia returned to the mansion. The lights were still on, which meant Ji-Soo was awake. Probably waiting for her. She found him in his office, staring at nothing. He looked up when she entered, and the relief on his face was palpable. You came back. You said you told her about us. I did. Right after you left. I told her everything. That you and I are together. That you've been helping me be a better father. That Eun-Ha loves you. That I love you. He stood up, moved toward her but stopped short of touching her. And I told her to leave. What did she say? That I'm making a mistake. That Eun-Ha deserves her real mother. That you're just, he stopped himself. Just what? Just the nanny. Temporary. Not family. His jaw clenched. I told her she was wrong. That you're more family than she ever was. That if she wants to see Eun-Ha, it will be supervised visits. Limited contact. That she doesn't get to waltz back in after 5 years and destroy what we've built. And she accepted that? No, she said. Ji-Soo moved to the window, tension radiating from his shoulders. She said she'll fight me for custody. That she'll expose everything about my business to get Eun-Ha away from this life. Away from me. Nia's blood ran cold. She's blackmailing you. Yes. So this was never about wanting to be a mother. This was about what? Money. Revenge. Control, I think. She can't stand that I moved on. That I found happiness without her. So she's going to destroy it. He turned back to face her. And Nia, I need you to know, I will fight her. I will do whatever it takes to protect Eun-Ha. to protect what we have. But it's going to get ugly. And if you want to walk away now, before it gets worse, I'll understand. Is that what you want? For me to leave? God, no. I want you to stay. I want to marry you and build a life with you and show Eun-Ha what a real family looks like. But I also, his voice cracked, I also love you enough to let you go if this is too much. If I'm too much. Nia studied him, this complicated, damaged man who'd just offered her an out even though it clearly killed him to do it. And she realized that this was the moment. The decision point. Either she trusted that he'd chosen her, or she walked away and never looked back. I'm staying, she said. You're sure? No. But I'm doing it anyway. She crossed to him, cupped his face in her hands. Ji-Soo, you hurt me today. You made me doubt everything. And I need you to understand that if we're going to do this, if we're going to fight Sarah and build a life together, you can't hesitate again. You can't make me wonder if I'm enough. You are enough. You're everything. Then prove it. Not with words. With actions. Show me that I'm not just the safe choice after she turned out to be something else. Show me that you're choosing me because I'm what you want, not because I'm what's available. How do I do that? Stop protecting me by making decisions alone. Include me. Trust me. Let me be your partner in all of this, not just Eun-Ha's nanny who you're sleeping with. He flinched. Is that what you think you are? I think I don't know what I am to you. Not really. Because today, when it mattered, you didn't claim me. And Ji-Soo, I can't keep doing this if I'm always going to be wondering if I'm enough. If I'm real to you. Nia said, almost choking on the threatening tears. You're real to me. He pulled her close, held her tight. You're the most real thing in my life. And I'm sorry, God. I'm so sorry I made you doubt that. I won't do it again. I swear to you I won't. Nia wanted to believe him. But trust, once broken, was hard to rebuild. Okay, she said quietly. Then let's start now. What's your plan for dealing with Sarah? He pulled back, surprised. You want to help? You said partner. So let me be one. What's your plan? Ji-Soo studied her face, and slowly, something shifted in his expression. Respect. Gratitude. Maybe even hope. I don't have one yet. But I know someone who might be able to help us figure out why Sarah really came back. There's always a reason beyond what people say. Who? My investigator. The one I use for sensitive matters. If Sarah has secrets she doesn't want exposed, he'll find them. And if she doesn't, then we fight her in court. I have lawyers. Resources. I'll make sure she never gets custody of Eun-Ha. He said, determined. What about Eun-Ha? What do we tell her? Nia asked. Ji-Soo was quiet for a moment. Then, the truth. That her mother came back. That she wants to see her. And that we're going to figure out what's best for everyone. That's going to confuse her. I know. But lying to her would be worse. He took Nia's hand. And maybe having you there when we tell her will help. Having someone she trusts to help her process it. You trust me with that? I trust you with everything. This time, Nia let herself believe him. Let herself hope that maybe, just maybe, they could survive this. Okay, she said. Then let's do this together. Together, he agreed. But even as they held each other, even as they made plans to fight Sarah, Nia couldn't shake the image of Ji-Soo looking at his ex-wife with longing in his eyes. Couldn't forget the way he'd hesitated before choosing Nia. And she wondered if that hesitation would always be there. A ghost between them. A reminder that she'd only been chosen after he'd considered going back to the woman who'd destroyed him. Time would tell if that was enough. The next morning, Nia woke to find Eun-Ha standing beside her bed, tears streaming down her face. Nia mama, the girl sobbed. Papa said my real mama is back. Does that mean you're leaving? Nia's heart shattered. She pulled Eun-Ha into the bed, held her close. No, baby. I'm not leaving. I promise. But if my real mama is here, you don't have to stay anymore. Papa doesn't need you anymore. Who told you that? I heard him and Mrs. Park talking. He said my mama came back and wants to live here. And I thought that means you'll go away. Nia looked up to find Ji-Soo standing in the doorway, looking devastated. Eun-Ha, he said, coming into the room. That's not what's happening. Nia isn't going anywhere. But, listen to me. Ji-Soo sat on the bed, pulled his daughter into his lap. Your birth mother did come back. And she does want to see you. But that doesn't mean Nia is leaving. Nia is. He looked at Nia, and there was a question in his eyes. I'm family, Nia finished firmly. Eun-Ha, I love you. And I'm not leaving just because your birth mother came back. You can have both of us in your life if that's what you want. Really? Eun-Ha looked between them hopefully. Really, Nia confirmed, even though she had no idea if it was true. Even though Sarah had made it clear she wanted Nia gone. But looking at Eun-Ha's tear-stained face, Nia knew she'd fight for this. Fight for this little girl who'd called her mama. Fight for the family they'd built, even if it was complicated and messy and hurt like hell sometimes. I don't want my real mama, Eun-Ha said suddenly. I want you, Nia mama. You're the one who takes care of me. You're the one who loves me. Your birth mother loves you too, Ji-Soo said carefully. She had to go away for a while. But she wants to get to know you now. I don't want to know her. I want things to stay the same. I want you and Nia mama and me to be a family. Why can't we just be a family? Out of the mouths of babes. Nia met Ji-Soo's eyes over Eun-Ha's head, and she saw her own pain reflected there. We are a family, Ji-Soo said quietly. And we're going to stay a family. No matter what happens with your birth mother, that won't change. Okay. Promise. I promise. Eun-Ha seemed satisfied with that. She snuggled into her father's chest, and Ji-Soo held her like she was the most precious thing in the world. And watching them, Nia understood something she hadn't before. This wasn't about whether Ji-Soo loved Sarah or loved Nia more. This was about Eun-Ha. About giving this little girl the stability she needed in a world that kept trying to take it away. Whatever happened with Sarah, whatever complicated feelings Ji-Soo had, Nia had to stay. For Eun-Ha. And maybe, in the process, she'd figure out if Ji-Soo really had chosen her, or if she was just the consolation prize. The investigator's report came back 3 days later. Ji-Soo called Nia into his office, closed the door, and handed her a manila folder without a word. Inside were bank statements, hotel receipts, and photographs. Lots of photographs. Sarah in Paris, living in a penthouse that cost more per month than most people made in a year. Sarah at expensive restaurants with different men. Sarah shopping on the Champs-Élysées like money was no object. And then the more recent photos. Sarah's accounts suddenly empty. Her penthouse vacated. Her life of luxury gone. She's broke, Nia said, looking up at Ji-Soo. This isn't about Eun-Ha at all. She ran out of money and came back because she needs you to support her. It gets worse. Ji-Soo pointed to a specific section of the report. She's been gambling. Badly. She owes money to some very dangerous people. People who make my organization look like a charity. How much? 200 million won. About 150,000 US dollars. Nia whistled. And she thought what? She'd come back, play the devoted mother, and you'd pay off her debts. Exactly. That's why she threatened to fight for custody. Not because she wants Eun-Ha, but because she wants leverage. Yes. Ji-Soo's voice was flat. Cold. The man Nia had seen in the foyer the night they'd first kissed. The one who'd just survived an ambush and was ready to kill anyone who threatened his family. What are you going to do? What I should have done the day she showed up. End this. He picked up his phone. Min-Ho, bring Mrs. Yoon to my office. Now. 10 minutes later, Sarah sat across from them, looking significantly less composed than she had during her first visit. She'd been staying at a hotel nearby, and Ji-Soo had insisted she come immediately. No time to prepare. No time to put on her mask. Ji-Soo, she said, smiling nervously. I wasn't expecting. You owe the Yakuza 200 million won, Ji-Soo said flatly, sliding the folder across the desk. Sarah's face went white. How did you really think I wouldn't investigate you? That I'd just welcome you back with open arms and never question why you suddenly wanted to be a mother after 5 years? I do want to be a mother. I want to see Eun-Ha. You want money. Ji-Soo's voice could have cut glass. You gambled away everything I gave you 5 years ago. You've been living beyond your means in Paris, and now the people you owe are threatening you. So you came back here, thinking you could manipulate me into paying your debts by using our daughter as leverage. That's not. Sarah's voice shook. I made mistakes, yes. But I do want to see Eun-Ha. I do want to be part of her life. No, you don't. Nia spoke for the first time, and both of them turned to look at her. You want what's convenient. You want money and safety and a place to hide from your creditors. But you don't want the hard work of being a mother. You don't want the sleepless nights when she has nightmares. You don't want to help her with homework or teach her how to be brave. You just want the Instagram-perfect moments and the reflected glory of being connected to the Kong family. You don't know anything about me, Sarah snapped, the mask finally slipping. You're just the hired help. The nanny. You have no right to. She has every right. Ji-Soo's voice was deadly quiet. Because she's been more of a mother to Eun-Ha in 6 months than you were in the 6 months before you left. Because she loves my daughter. Because she stayed when things got hard instead of running away. So yes, Sarah, she has every right to tell you exactly what you are. Sarah's face twisted with rage. You're sleeping with the nanny. How cliché. How utterly predictable. Did you really fall in love with her, or is she just convenient? Just there. Nia felt the words hit like daggers, but she kept her face neutral. She wouldn't give Sarah the satisfaction of seeing her bleed. But Ji-Soo looked at Sarah with something like pity. 5 years ago, I would have done anything to keep you. I destroyed myself trying to be good enough for you. Trying to prove that I could be more than what my father made me. And when you left, it nearly broke me. He paused. But you know what? You did me a favor. Because loving you taught me exactly what I don't want. I don't want someone who loves me conditionally. Who only stays when it's easy. Who sees our daughter as a bargaining chip instead of a blessing. And the nanny gives you all that? Sarah laughed bitterly. Please. She's with you for the money, for the lifestyle. Once she realizes what you really are, what this life really demands, she'll leave too. Maybe, Ji-Soo said. But at least she'll have tried. At least she'll have shown up. You didn't even do that much. Sarah stood up abruptly. Fine. You want to play happy family with the help? Do it. But I'm not going away quietly, Ji-Soo. I'll tell Eun-Ha the truth. I'll tell her that you pushed me away. That you threatened me. That you kept her from her mother for 5 years. I'll destroy everything you've built with her. No, you won't. Ji-Soo opened another folder, this one thicker. Because if you do, I'll send this information to your creditors. I'll let them know exactly where you are. And I'll make sure they know that I've officially refused to pay your debts. That you have no connection to the Kong family. That you're on your own. Sarah's face went from red to white in seconds. You wouldn't. Try me. Ji-Soo's voice was as cold as ice. I have given you 2 chances to walk away from my family with dignity. You wasted both of them. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to leave Seoul. Tonight. You're going to sign papers relinquishing all parental rights permanently. And in exchange, I'll pay off half your debt. The other half is your problem. That's not. Or, Ji-Soo continued, you can refuse. You can try to fight me for custody. And I'll bury you. I'll expose every dirty secret in that folder. I'll make sure everyone knows exactly what you are. And then I'll let the Yakuza know where to find you. Your choice. The silence in the room was suffocating. Nia watched Sarah's face cycle through emotions. Rage, fear, calculation, defeat. You've changed, Sarah said finally, her voice small. You never used to be this cruel. No, Ji-Soo said quietly. I've always been this cruel. You just only saw it directed at other people. Now you're on the receiving end, and you don't like it. But Sarah, you did this. You came back and threatened my family. You tried to use my daughter as a weapon. You forced my hand. I loved you, she whispered. No, you didn't. You loved the idea of me. The fantasy of taming the monster, of being the light that saved me. But the moment you realized I was never going to change, that this life, this world, is who I am, you ran. And that's fine. I don't blame you for that. But don't come back 5 years later pretending it was anything more than it was. Sarah looked at Nia then, and there was something venomous in her eyes. You think you're different? You think you can handle this life? Give it time. Give it a year, 2 years. You'll realize that loving Kong Ji-Soo means loving a monster. And monsters don't change. They just get better at pretending. Maybe, Nia said calmly. But that's my choice to make. Not yours. Sarah laughed, a broken, bitter sound. You deserve each other. You really do. She looked back at Ji-Soo. Fine. I'll sign your papers. I'll take your money. But Ji-Soo, I want you to know I did love you. Once. Before this world destroyed it. Before you destroyed it. I know, Ji-Soo said, and for the first time, Nia heard sadness in his voice. And I'm sorry it ended this way. But Sarah, you need to understand something. The woman I fell in love with died the day you walked out on our daughter. The person sitting here now is a stranger wearing her face. So let's both stop pretending this was ever going to end any other way. Sarah stood up, straightened her clothes, and walked to the door. She paused at the threshold, looked back one more time. I hope she's worth it, she said. I hope she's worth giving up the chance to have a real family. Because that's what you're doing, Ji-Soo. You're choosing the nanny over your daughter's real mother. And one day, Eun-Ha is going to ask you why. She's going to want to know why you kept her from me. And what are you going to tell her? The truth, Ji-Soo said. That her mother chose money and comfort over her. That she came back not because she loved her, but because she needed something. and that I chose to protect her from that pain for as long as I could. Sarah shook her head. Goodbye, Ji-Soo. I hope you find whatever it is you're looking for. I already have, he said, looking at Nia. After Sarah left, silence filled the office. Heavy. Loaded. That was, Nia started. Brutal, Ji-Soo finished. I know. But necessary. She would have kept coming back, kept threatening us, kept using Eun-Ha as leverage if I didn't end it completely. Will she really sign the papers? Yes. Because she's more afraid of the Yakuza than she is of losing Eun-Ha. He stood up, moved to the window. Which tells you everything you need to know about her priorities. Nia joined him, stood beside him looking out at Seoul. Are you okay? I don't know. His voice was raw. I meant what I said, that I'm not in love with her anymore. That I love you. But seeing her, talking to her, it brought back a lot of memories. A lot of pain. A lot of regret. Maybe. Not for how things ended, but for how they started. For believing I could be something I'm not. For thinking love was enough to overcome what I am. Ji-Soo. She was right about one thing, he continued. One day, Eun-Ha is going to ask why her mother isn't here. Why she left. And I'm going to have to tell her the truth. That her mother looked at our life, at me, and decided it wasn't worth staying for. That she wasn't enough to make her stay. That's not what happened, Nia said firmly. What happened is that Sarah wasn't strong enough for this life. Wasn't brave enough to love you and Eun-Ha through the hard parts. But that's on her, not on you or Eun-Ha. You make it sound so simple. It is simple. Not easy, but simple. She chose to leave. You chose to stay and build a life for your daughter. Those are just facts. He turned to look at her, and there was something vulnerable in his eyes. And what did you choose? I chose you. Both of you. Even when it's hard. Even when, she paused, the hurt from earlier was still raw. Even when you make me doubt whether I'm really what you want or just what's available. Ji-Soo flinched. Nia, I'm sorry. When she first showed up, I panicked. I thought maybe Eun-Ha deserved her biological mother. Maybe I owed Sarah a second chance because I pushed her away the first time. Maybe you were too good for this life, and I should let you go before I destroy you too. That's not your choice to make, Nia said. I'm an adult, Ji-Soo. I get to decide what I can handle. And what I can't handle is you making decisions about us without including me. You deciding what I deserve or don't deserve. You protecting me by pushing me away. I know. And I'm sorry. I'm still learning how to do this. How to be in a relationship with someone who isn't going to run at the first sign of trouble. He took her hands. But I need you to know something. When Sarah asked if you were worth giving up a real family, she's wrong. You are my real family. You and Eun-Ha. Not because of biology or legal documents, but because you chose us. And we chose you. That's more real than anything Sarah and I ever had. Then prove it, Nia said. Marry me. Ji-Soo's eyes went wide. What? Marry me, Nia repeated. Not because it's romantic or because we've figured everything out, but because I'm tired of being the nanny who might leave. I'm tired of being the temporary solution. I want to be permanent. I want to be legally, officially, permanently part of this family. So marry me, Ji-Soo. Make me Eun-Ha's mother in every way that matters. Nia, is it because I'm not Korean? Because my skin is different? Because No. He pulled her close, cut off her spiral. No, God, no. I would marry you tomorrow if I could. I've been wanting to ask you for weeks. But I thought you deserved better than a proposal from a man like me. I thought you deserved romance and certainty and... I deserve honesty, Nia interrupted. I deserve partnership. I deserve a man who chooses me clearly and completely. Can you give me that? Yes. No hesitation this time. No doubt. Yes, Nia. I choose you. I love you. And I want to spend the rest of my life proving that you're not second choice or convenient or anything other than exactly what I want. Then prove it, Nia said. Marry me. Ji-Soo's eyes went wide. What? Marry me, Nia repeated, and her voice shook. Not because it's romantic or because we've figured everything out, but because I'm tired of being the nanny who might leave. I'm tired of being the temporary solution. I want to be permanent. She took a shaky breath, and because I'm pregnant. The world stopped. Ji-Soo's face went white. You're 6 weeks. I found out 3 days ago, right before Sarah showed up. Her hand moved to her still flat stomach, protective. Instinctive. I was going to tell you that night. I had this whole plan, dinner, candles, something sweet for Eun-Ha. But then your ex-wife showed up and her voice broke. You looked at her like she was everything you'd lost. And I realized I was about to tell you about our baby while you were wondering if you still loved her. So I didn't. I waited. I needed to know. She was crying now, couldn't stop. I needed to know if you'd choose me without knowing. Because Ji-Soo, I will not raise our child in a house where I'm second choice. Where I'm just the woman who was there. Where you look at me and wish I was someone else. Nia. So I'm asking you now. While there's no hiding from it. She stepped closer, and her voice turned fierce. Marry me. Choose me. Make me your wife and our baby's mother and Eun-Ha's mama. Make it real and permanent and unquestionable. Or tell me now that I need to leave. That I need to figure out how to do this alone. Because I can't, live in the in-between anymore. Ji-Soo looked like she'd stabbed him. You think I'd let you leave? You think I'd let you raise my child alone? I think you hesitated when Sarah walked back into your life. I think you let her touch you. I think you didn't tell her about us. I think you said maybe Eun-Ha needs her real mother. And Ji-Soo, I'm pregnant with your baby, and I don't know if you think I'm real either. The words hung between them like broken glass. So yes, Nia whispered. I think if I'm not what you really want, you should let me go now. Before our baby is born. Before Eun-Ha gets more attached. Before I fall so deep I can never climb out. She wiped her eyes, straightened her spine. So I'm asking you, Kong Ji-Soo, will you marry me? Will you choose me, clearly, completely, with no hesitation? Will you make me your family in every way that matters? She paused, and her voice dropped to barely a whisper. Or will you let me go? Ji-Soo threw his head by, trying to control the threatening tears from falling. I can't let you go, he replied with a shaky voice. Then say yes. Yes, he said, pulling her into a kiss. Yes, 1,000 times yes. They kissed until they forgot about Sarah, forgot about the pain of the last few days, forgot about everything except each other. When they finally broke apart, Ji-Soo rested his forehead against hers. You talk too much, Nanny. Not a nanny anymore, Nia said, smiling. I'm going to be your wife. Which means you're stuck with me talking too much forever. I can live with that, he murmured. They told Eun-Ha that evening, after dinner, in the garden where they'd spent so many happy moments together. Eun-Ha, Ji-Soo started, unusually nervous. Nia and I have something to tell you. The girl looked between them, eyes wide. Are you going away? No, Nia said quickly. The opposite, actually. I'm staying forever. 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 Because your papa and I are going to get married. Which means I'll officially be your family. If that's okay with you. Eun-Ha was quiet for a moment, processing. Then, I can call you Mama? Not just Nia Mama, but just Mama. Nia's eyes filled with tears. If you want to, yes. And you'll never leave? Even if my real mama comes back? Your real mama signed papers saying she won't come back, Ji-Soo said gently. She decided she can't be here. But Nia will be your mama now. In every way that matters. Good, Eun-Ha said firmly. Because I don't want the other mama. I want Nia Mama. I want Mama. She threw herself into Nia's arms. I want you. You have me, Nia whispered, holding the girl tight. You'll always have me, baby. I promise. Ji-Soo wrapped his arms around both of them, and for the first time in days, maybe weeks, Nia felt like everything was going to be okay. Not perfect. Not easy. But okay. The spy situation resolved itself a week later in the worst possible way. Nia was in the kitchen with Mrs. Park when they heard the gunshot. Just one. Sharp and final. They ran toward the sound, found Ji-Soo in his office, standing over a body. Young Min, one of his most trusted guards. The one who'd been with him since the beginning. He was the leak, Ji-Soo said, voice completely flat. He's been feeding information to Kim's surviving lieutenants. They were planning another attack. Tonight, Nia stared at the body, at the blood spreading across the floor, and felt nothing. No horror. No shock. Just acceptance. This was Ji-Soo's world. This was what it meant to love him. Are we safe? She asked. Yes. Min-Ho is rounding up the rest of them now. By morning, Kim's organization will be completely dismantled. He looked at her, and there was a question in his eyes. A test. Does this change things? Does this change how you feel about me? No, Nia said honestly. It scares me. It makes me sick. But it doesn't change how I feel. You protected us. That's what matters. Something in his expression cracked with relief. You're sure? I'm sure. She moved closer, careful not to step in the blood. But Ji-Soo, this has to be the last time. You need to find a way out of this life. For Eun-Ha. For us. For yourself. I know, he said quietly. And I'm trying. But these things, they take time. Then take the time. But keep moving toward the exit. Because I didn't sign up to raise Eun-Ha alone, because her father got himself killed. I won't, he promised. I'll be careful. You better be. Because you're marrying me in 3 months, and I need you alive for that. Despite everything, the body, the blood, the violence, he smiled. 3 months. 3 months. I'm not waiting any longer than that. We've wasted enough time. 3 months, he agreed. The wedding was small. Intimate. Just the people who mattered. Min-Ho, Mrs. Park, a handful of Ji-Soo's most trusted associates, and some of Nia's expat friends. Eun-Ha was the flower girl again, this time wearing a dress she'd picked out herself, purple with butterflies. She took her job very seriously, scattering petals with intense concentration. When Nia walked down the aisle, no father to give her away, just her own choice bringing her forward, Ji-Soo looked at her like she'd hung the stars. Like he still couldn't believe she'd chosen him. They'd written their own vows. His were longer this time, more confident. Nia, you walked into my life and refused to follow the rules. You challenged me. You saw me, all of me, the monster and the man. And you loved me anyway. You taught me that strength isn't about being alone. That love isn't a weakness. That family isn't about blood. It's about choice. And I choose you. Every day, for the rest of my life, I choose you. Hers were simple but true. Ji-Soo, you're not perfect. You're complicated and dangerous, and you make decisions that terrify me sometimes. But you're also brave and loyal, and you love so fiercely it takes my breath away. You've given me a family, a home, a life I never knew I wanted. And I promise to stand beside you through all of it, the beauty and the darkness. To challenge you when you need it. To support you always. To love you completely. You talk too little, and I talk too much, but somehow we balance each other. And I wouldn't have it any other way. When they kissed, Eun-Ha cheered. Mrs. Park cried. And Kong Ji-Soo, the feared crime lord of Eastern Seoul, smiled like he'd finally found what he'd been searching for all along. Peace. Home. Love. If you felt every heartbeat of this story, then hit subscribe, because stories like this drop here every single day. Don't miss the next one.